Good morning. After 2 years, the table is finally set to press on with this light rail system. And as all of you know, several of us from the citizenry here have followed these meetings. We've attended these meetings. We've taken time, not because we're associated with any, as I've seen in the newspaper, some kind of a financial-backed national group or whatever. No one has provided any money. This is citizens that are taxpayers that are coming out because we are so alarmed at the risk that you're willing to take with our community. Now, many ideas have been hatched over these 2 years along the way, such as the tax swap, the HART PSTA merger. What personally really outraged me, the hiring of a $300,000 PR firm called Tucker Hall to design exactly what steps to take, construct the message to convey to the public that will most likely convince the Pinellas voters to pass this 1% sales tax increase on themselves that will be placed on the ballot. And apparently from the paper, the stories I've been reading in both papers across each side of the bay recently, the message is starting to become that PSTA is running out of money. Bus ridership is up. PSTA is a victim of the economy. Business is booming. They need to meet the demand on the bus service. People need public transportation in Pinellas to get to their jobs. And due to falling property values and declining revenue from the ad valorem, that the bus system will run out of money in 2015, and that this is why we need this referendum, is to bail out the bus system. We are told by October 2015 the PSTA will be $8 million in the red and have spent all of their reserves, which we're currently spending now, and that draconian cuts in the routes will be necessary, and that the public will be left stranded. But wait. Reading from 1 month ago, some minutes from the Finance Committee in the December 12, 2012 Finance meeting, chaired by the Honorable Bill Johnson of this board, I read from these minutes. For the period ending September 30th, 2012, which is the fiscal year 2012, the unaudited report is as follows. Total revenues for the fiscal year totaled $62.3 million, or 107.6% of the fiscal year, coming in 7.6% over budget. Passenger fares are up 12%, with increases due to cash and other fares exceeding budget. Total expenses for the fiscal year totaled $55 million and are under budget by $2.8 million, or 5%. Salaries and fringes are under budget with 2%. Projected changes in the financial overall condition, the report continues, is that the revenues exceeded the budget by $4.4 million and expenses are under budget by $2.9 million. As of September 30th, the favorable financial performance totaling $7.3 million is a positive indication that the projected year $7.3 million is a positive indication that the projected year-end unaudited performance is favorable. It is also prudent to assume that the $2.5 million reserved in fiscal year 2012 budget for fiscal year 2013 will be available to fund future years' budgets. And that's the end of the report. So apparently things are looking a little better. If, as presented, as one of the main reasons to build a rail is to save the bus system from insolvency, perhaps the increasing ridership that we're witnessing, along with the bus route study that is currently underway, that could result in cutting underutilized routes and beefing up frequency that we've heard from person after person this morning that they need this increased service along the popular routes, along with the recovering real estate market, may just pull PSTA out of this negative cash flow and actually become a healthy bus system that we all want and the public needs. The amount of resources in terms of personnel, salaries, time, and planning being spent in the pursuit of rail instead of running the bus system could result in world-class service and efficiencies if redirected back to improving the financials of this bus service. There are 12 taxpayer-funded NGO committees that you all are a part of, meeting throughout each month to promote this rail process in our area now for 2 years. Millions of dollars have been spent in Pinellas County talking and focusing on rail. The fact that the bus system is trying to recover on its own makes one wonder what could be possible if focus of these committees and the PSTA staff was on their core business, buses. But no amount of charts or graphs or common sense will prevail today. This is the day to go to the next level. A solid 5 yeses are now seated at the County Commission, and that could change any day, as we all know. This must be forwarded to the County Commission right away, and no doubt it will. I will close with the following warnings that we are facing from the publication called Transportation Planning and Technology in an article that's entitled Cost Overruns and Demand, Shortfalls in Urban Rail and Other Infrastructure. Quote, a study of 44 urban rail projects in North America, Europe, and developing nations, including London's Tube and the metros in Washington, D.C. and Mexico City, found that the average construction cost overrun was 45%. For a quarter of the projects, cost overruns were at least 60%. In addition, passenger ridership was on average 50% lower than forecast. Furthermore, for a quarter of the projects, ridership was at least 70% lower than estimated. An appropriate slogan seems to be over budget, underperform, over and over again. But I'm sure it will be different here. Tax swap? You cannot even get close to this project with a tax swap. You're going to need every dime and more. I say give it more time, focus on the bus study, turn the committees loose on routes and efficiencies and cutting the budget. Try to save the patient and get them back on their feet. This is now an $8 million budget problem. Let's not make it a multi-billion-dollar budget insolvency and run this county into bankruptcy. Once committed, there will be no turning back from this big dig.